Jeremiah Martin, 6'2" guard out of Memphis, joined the lineup. Marquill Smith, 6'3" guard out of West Georgia. Marcus Lee, 6'10" center out of California for the Skyforce. Reed and Mulder still stay on. For the Kings, we've got Kevin Young, a 6'8" forward out of Puerto Rico. Michael Mulder drills it from the outside to make 22-13. His first three-point basket of the night. On the other end, shot no good, but Jeffries with the offensive rebound. Fresh 14, Jeffries gets in deep. Ball knocked away, last touch by the Kings, 8 to shoot, with 5:09 left in the period. So they prepare to send it in, right of the hoop. To do the honors is Isaiah Cannon. And a 5-second call, so they did not get it in time. So a violation. Isaiah Cannon, 6-foot guard out of Murray State. And we also see Gabriel Vincent, 6'3" guard out of California State, Santa Barbara. Reed over to Smith. Smith slings to the corner, Martin. Martin drives baseline, and we've got contact underneath, and that will be on Young. So Young will be whistled for the foul. And Trey Morning will get an entrance into the lineup. Morning out of Georgetown, 6'9" forward, and the son of Alonzo Mourning. Martin, a couple of dribbles right in front of my broadcast position, sends to Smith. He'll leak out in front of the screen, and then the ball knocked loose. Vincent comes the other way and will lay it up and in. Vincent to make it 24-13. 4:35 in ticking, first quarter. Martin rounds the curve, advances, and we've got more contact. This time Martin will go to the free throw line. And Keenan will be the guilty party for the Skyforce. Jeremiah Martin to the free throw line. Martin, 70% from the free throw line. He is 16th in scoring in the NBA at 20.8 points per contest. And is also 18th in the NBA with 5.5 assists per game. So the 2-point toss for Martin is good to make it 24-15. A lead of 9. Also entering the lineup for the Kings, Isaiah Pinheiro, a 6'6" forward out of San Diego. He will send to Kanan over on the right. He'll get the screen and be picked up by Marcus Lee. The ball knocked loose, but picked back up by Young. 6 to shoot. Vincent will, and fires too strong, and Vincent will get his own rebound. He'll put it back up, shorter distance, but then Marcus Lee will grab the board. Reed, front court for Sioux Falls. And now the high pick and roll. Reed will drive. Reed will get to the rack, send it back out, swing it over to Marquill Smith. And his three, no good. Reed fighting for the rebound, able to secure it. 14 to shoot. Back to Martin. Martin, 20 feet. Now sends back to Reed. Reed's three-point shot, in and out. Rebound to Kyle Guy. And the Kings will head the other way. Kanan stops, pops, and 3 for Isaiah Kanan. 27-15, lead back to 12. As Martin gets free throw line, draws contact, short on the shot, and the rebound knocked out of bounds. Marcus Lee knocked it off of Young. The Skyforce will have 14 to shoot with 3:15 remaining in this first quarter, and it's 27-15. Well, it has listed on here Kevin Young out of Puerto Rico. Actually, that's Kansas. I kind of was wondering if that was correct, so I had to get my second source. Spin in the lane for Marquill Smith. Smith out of West Georgia makes it a 10-point ball game, 27-17. Kanan over to Guy, left side. Kai nearly has it raked away, but now has a dribble. He'll take it. Ball diverted over to the corner for Pinheiro, 7 to shoot. Kanan will back away, 5 to shoot. Kanan with 4. Kanan sends to Pinheiro. A three-point shot is no good at the shot clock conclusion, but Kanan gets the rebound and puts it in. A three-pointer from the top of the key to make it 30-17. 2:30 to go in the period. Martin looks to Marcus Lee, right wing. Then he'll send it down low. Davon Reed lets the traffic clear. Tough shot in the lane, no good. Rebound to Kanan. Kanan on the run. Kanan will veer to the left. They'll reset it. Kyle Guy. Ooh, nice ball fake. He'll get into the lane. Shot is short. Rebound, Martin. 2:09 to go in the period. Davon Reed steps into it. Three, good. And with that, a timeout on the court. And the Stockton Kings lead the Sioux Falls Skyforce 30-20. 2:03 remaining in the period on Information 1000 KSOO. And look at three for Davon Reed on the G League Network, signifying his bona fides from Clark, South Dakota, and a graduate of South Dakota State University. 4.9 points per game for Skylar Flatten, the 6'4" guard. We also have the entrance of Marcus Graves, a 6-foot guard out of Sacramento State. Into the lane, Kanan. There's some contact. He'll go to the line. .146 left in the period. No, they will say not in the act of shooting. So they'll take this one from the side. First foul in the last 2 minutes. Next one's the penalty. They'll send it in. Kanan going right side of the lane, slings it over to the left corner. Pinheiro had to jump high to get it. 7 to shoot as Pinheiro has the ball stripped. And the Skyforce come away with it. Jeremiah Martin surveying, gets a screen up top, and then sends the lob to Marcus Lee. 30-22. As Marcus Lee skies. Graves gives it off to Pinheiro, who gets Skylar Flatten a little flat-footed, and will go to the line for a pair. Flatten with the foul. He had been wearing number 35 for the first portion of the season. Skylar Flatten has now been changed to number 10 on his jersey. Jalen Reynolds will check back on for the Stockton Kings. And Pinheiro heads to the line. Pinheiro, wearing number 0, is able to convert the free throw to make it 32-22. And if you're not familiar with that rule, through this season, the NBA G League is experimenting with one free throw. There's a lob down low to Marcus Lee. And the free throws have varying values. So they could be worth 2 or 3 or 1, depending on the situation. 32-24, 50 seconds left in the period. Here comes Jalen Reynolds off the nice feed. And are we going to have a delay of game? Will Menza explaining. 46.5, they had to reset the clock. 48.6 is now resetting the clock. So the score, 34-24. Now the clock resumes. Martin comes front court. He will get to the right baseline. Then through the double team, sends it around, and here comes Marcus Lee again. This time it was Trey Morning sending it away to Marcus Lee to deposit. Pinheiro over to Graves. Graves to the basket. Blocked by Lee. Nope, that's Morning underneath. And then here come the Skyforce. 34-26. Closing stages of this first quarter. The Skyforce will pull it out. 14 to shoot. And just about 2.5 seconds between shot and game clock. We've got some contact going on. And Jeffries called for the foul. And actually, that's not a bad call. And not a bad foul either. Now the shot clock will be off. That is the last foul in the last 2 minutes. Or first foul in the last 2 minutes for the Kings. So the Skyforce will send it in, the scorer's table. And they'll send it over to Martin. 9 seconds. And Martin is bumped from behind. And that foul from behind on Gabe Vincent. And this will be one free throw, 2 points Jeremiah Martin back to the stripe. Skyforce can cut it to 6. Kings led by 14 points at various times in this first quarter. 18-4 being the first time that Kings led by 14. So Jeremiah Martin to the free throw line. 5 bench players on for the Skyforce. And converts the free throw, 34-28. 6 seconds left in the period. Gabe Vincent gets to the rack, and that one is blocked. And the seconds will tick away in this first quarter. And the Stockton Kings lead at 34-28 over the Sioux Falls Skyforce on Information 1000 KSOO and the NBA G League Network. All right, 2 minutes. 8 of 18 from downtown for the Kings, while the Skyforce are 2 of 7. The Kings overall are 20 of 39 from the floor. That's just over 50%. 16 of 34 for the Skyforce. Also, look at the fast break. Kings with a slight advantage there. Well, a free throw no good. The score remains 54-40. As Ulis controls for the Kings. Gives to Guy. Guy has been quiet so far. His pass to Young. And shot blocked by Morning. He'll swing it back around. 5 to shoot. Now with 3 to shoot. Ulis will fire from 28 and draws nothing. The Skyforce induced the 24-second violation. 4.5 to go in this second quarter. The two teams will head to the locker rooms. Brian Langton will be our guest at halftime. Sioux Falls Skyforce Brain Trust. The Stockton Kings assisted by Tyler Gatlin and Kyle Nishimoto. On their coaching staff, you got Kasib Powell and Connor Erickson over on the Skyforce sideline. 3 for Marquill Smith. 54-43. The Skyforce hit their 3rd three-point basket of the night. Jeffries drives on Morning, hooks it over him, uses glass. Nice effort by Jeffries to make it 56-43. Martin being closely guarded by Kanan, and then they'll send it to Reed. Reed bounce pass Morning. He'll go on the reverse and score. Nice pass by Davon Reed, and Morning able to work his way inside. Ulis draws contact. Ball knocked out of bounds. They'll say off of Sioux Falls. Note about Trey Morning, picked up a double-double against the Memphis Hustle on Wednesday night. Skyforce in the 12-point setback. Stockton still with the basketball. Guy is the inbounder, and they got the return pass. His 3 was way out the mark. 11-point game as Martin, Reed play catch on the right wing. Reed draws to the baseline, still with the handle, steps back for 3, strong. Rebound Jeffries. And the Kings will try their luck on this time. Jeffries, he's rolling. Jeffries. And that is 22 for Jeffries in the second quarter. Not all of them in the second. That would be some kind of deal. Layup opportunity missed by Martin. And for the first time tonight, the Kings can extend their largest lead. They've had a 14-point advantage various times. 10 to shoot. Kanan flips it over to Jeffries. He's hot. No, they get to Guy. Guy. They're trying to deny Jeffries. They get it to him. And they flip it up. It's no good. And we've got a foul. And they're going to call it on Marcus Lee late in the shot clock. Jeffries to the free throw line. See that up cam. And Marcus Lee pleading that he was set, but again, they will give the advantage to Jeffries. When Marcus Lee was there on the defense, he was set when Jeffries hit him, but was Marcus Lee set before Jeffries launched? That's the question. That's the largest lead of the game, 61-45. 16 points, Stockton lead late in the second quarter. Ball tipped, saved by the Kings. Ulis doing the dirty work. Jeffries in control. Jeffries drives, no shot. They say no continuation. Foul on Mulder before the shot. So they will send this one in from the side. No benefit of the continuation. Mulder will check out, flatten back on for the Skyforce. And again, that shot went in. Again, if they would allow the continuation, that would have been basket good and +1. But instead, the Kings will play with 19 in the shot clock. Jeffries again on the take. And that one no good. Marcus Lee took it right off the rim. Up ahead, Reed. Reed into a mess, gives it to Lee, back to Martin, and the Skyforce will reset it. Kings did a good job of packing the lane. Martin steps into a three, no good. Rebound out of bounds. They will say to the Kings. The Kings in their white uniforms, Stockton on the front of their jerseys. In purple. Skyforce with Force on the front of their jerseys. Red with the white numerals, black trim. 61-45 it remains. Ulis picks up the dribble. They'll send it over to Jeffries, top of the key. He against Reed. Here comes the screen. There's the pick and roll. Jeffries fades to the free throw line. Shot no good. Rebound Reed plucks it. Jeremiah Martin, minute and a half to go in the period. Marcus Lee, who left him alone? Marcus Lee stuffs it through to make it 61-47. .118 left in the period. Ball gets away from the Kings. Turnover. And that is the 5th turnover on the Kings. Skyforce have committed 7 so far. And before we get all right, they will actually reset it. They will not allow the play to continue. Skyforce going to need some help. And as the Kings will deploy in backcourt, they'll get it into Reed. Martin towards the timeline, now over. 61-47 the score as Martin has the ball knocked away, but last touched by the Kings. Half the shot clock has ticked away with 1:04 left in the period. They'll trigger it left of the hoop with Davon Reed. And we've got contact. If this is on Vincent, that would be his 3rd. Again, Vincent with only 5 points so far tonight. Coming in, averaging 24. Well, that's what Daquan Jeffries has. And Davon Reed will shoot 1 free throw for 2 points. Dead ball foul, and that is penalty plus ball out of bounds. So the Skyforce could have a very fruitful trip here. Reed looking, finally getting into Lee. And Mr. Lee will send it over to Martin. Martin in the lane, shot no. There's Reed with the rebound, trying to bull his way to the rack. He'll draw contact from Young and go back to the free throw line. And the exasperated look on the face of Kevin Young still does not belie the fact that he was kind of leaning in as Reed went up, so it was not straight vertical. This is a 2-point toss, good for Reed. Davon Reed averaging 88% from the free throw line coming in. Now has 9 points, and the Skyforce cut it to 10. Underneath, Young, loose, scores. 63-51, 42 seconds as the clock descends towards the end of the second quarter. And we've got a foul on Ulis, and Ulis will pick up his 3rd. So the Kings picking up the fouls here in this second quarter. To the line, Marcus Lee, who is 50% from the free throw line and averaging 9 points, 5 rebounds, and a block plus per game. Free throw no good. And the Kings will work some clock, at least initially. Ulis towards the left. Ulis to the free throw line, gives it off, and then underneath we've got contact. And there will be Young to the free throw line. And the foul on Reed, and that is his first. Young to the free throw line. Will have his opportunity to add 2. He does. 65-51. Shot clock is off as Martin will bring it front court. He's got 2 players shadowing him. He'll keep the dribble. Give it off to Reed with 10. Reed still with 4. Reed, exaggerated dribble. Oh man, it clings to the rim and then finally drops off the back paddle. And the Kings will elect not to shoot. So the Skyforce get a bucket with 4/10 of a second left in the second quarter. Close the gap to 65-50. And before the free throw, substitutions. We'll have Morning, Lee, and Smith return for Sioux Falls. Oh, Morning will wait because he is in for the shooter. This is a 2-point toss, and it goes. His first G League points to make it 80-58. 7:50 to go in the period as Kanan works left side. There's Kyle Guy with a quick trigger. Short. Kyle Guy has just not had the stroke, but Daquan Jeffries. Enough said. Akpala. Pass diverted, and then he has to save it. Gets it out to Jared Jack, who's open for 3, and he buries it. Jared Jack. 80-61. On the other end, Marquill Smith. Swiping, now Kanan takes him baseline, has to hang in the air, no, and the rebound, Kanan gets it back and puts it in. Boy, I give Kanan the credit for being there and being able to put it back in. 7 minutes left in the third as Jack drives, misses, but there's Lee with the rebound. Marcus sends it around, Davon Reed fires, 3 in and out. That one was about 2/3 of the way to Gloryland. But no. Kanan sizing, looking, bounce pass, and then nice shuttle. Spin in the lane for Reynolds, hooks it and scores. 84-61. 6.5 to go in the period. Send it down low, Davon Reed! Off the delivery from Marcus Lee. 84-63. And the Kings, left side of the court, there's that man, Daquan Jeffries. There he is again. Jeffries with 34. 6:02 to go in the period. Smith with 3, it's too strong. On the other end, here come the Kings. Kanan for 3, strong. And the rebound, saved by the Skyforce. Akpala will come front court. Wait for the other mates to join. Akpala looks to drive, puts it up, and floats it no good. Gets his own rebound, and then short on the second attempt. And they'll say out of bounds. Skyforce will keep it with 5:35 remaining in the period. So we've already had our first mandatory timeout. Skyforce will have 14 to shoot. And to trigger it, Jeremiah Martin, who has returned to the contest. Trey Morning checks in for Akpala. And they'll safety valve it. Send it over to Smith. Jeremiah Martin, drive, scores. Puts it up over Kevin Young. Make it 86-65. Again, the Kings with the lead. Vincent is checked back on for Stockton. Gives it up to Marcus Graves. Graves over to Demps. Demps for three. No. Rebound to Reed. And the Skyforce with Reed in control. To the baseline. Morning. Right side. He'll post up. He'll spin. Hook it. Score it. And that is Trey Morning. Second bucket of the game to make it 86-67. On the other end, Jeffries. Will that shatter his confidence? Because that one was way off to the left. We shall see. Still, the Kings hold a 19-point advantage. 4:45 in ticking, third quarter. As Martin unleashes to Reed. Reed, we've got a whistle. And there will be a hold against the Kings. There will be no shot taken here. They'll send it in from the side. That is the third team foul on the Kings. Reed, trigger man. Morning, left wing. Being guarded by Pinheiro. They'll send it over to Martin. Martin gets inside the three-point line. And they're going to call offensive foul. And Martin will be whistled as the guilty party. That is number 1 on Martin. They do list a team foul in the Skyforce, but that should not be. Graves over to Vincent, Pinheiro, Demps. Demps still with the dribble, floats it short. Rebound Reed. Reed will run the show again. Taking the rebound himself. Into the lane. Ball comes free. And that is off of Reed, out of bounds. 4:04 left in the third. Skylar Flatten will return. And Reed will sit. Vincent will let the ball roll toward midcourt as the Kings will start the offensive set. Graves, right of center, has the ball pop loose and picked up by Young. Demps, thought three, send it out, and we've got an offensive foul as Demps with the passing crash. So that was like double indemnity as Morning was going to snare the pass, but Jeremiah Martin got flattened. Still remains 86-67. As the Skyforce trailed and trailed throughout. Martin, free throw line, spins, adjusts, and scores. Body control for Jeremiah Martin. Now has 10 points, a three on the other end. No, quick trigger for Vincent. Skyforce the rebound, it's a 17-point game. Martin, and the pass offline. And the Stockton Kings come away with it. Kyle Guy for three, that one's off the mark. Martin the other way. Martin head of steam to Marcus Lee, who's free. Pleased to meet you, won't you guess my name? 86-71. Now it's a 15-point game. Graves over to Guy, to the corner, Vincent, he'll pull the trigger, no, and the Skyforce get the rebound. Martin, left side. Marquill Smith open for three. He hits! And timeout on the court as Ellis wants time for the Kings. Ty Ellis sees his team lead by 12, 86-74 on Information 1000 KSOO and the NBA G League Network. Kings who have an 86-74 advantage. Skyforce are 29 of 59. That's nearly 50%. Kings are 31 of 67. That's 46%. They've cooled off from three. They're down to 37.5%. The Skyforce have turned it over 15 times. Kyle Guy for three. He finally got one. Kyle Guy had been 0 of 5 before that try. 89-74. On the other end, Marcus Lee has to reel in a pass. We got a loose ball foul, and that will be whistled against the Kings. And that is against Young. And that is the 4th team foul. 2:16 left in the period. And prior to that 3 by Guy, that was an 8-0 run by the Skyforce. Martin, unforced error. Going behind the back, and that one hit off of his heel out of bounds. Look, set the lineup for you. Martin, Lee, Smith, Morning, and Flatton for Sioux Falls. And then Kanan, Vincent, Young, Pinheiro, the 4 bench players, and Guy. Vincent for 3. Oh, man. Looks like the Kings have regained the stroke. 2 straight threes to make it 92-71. Excuse me, 92-74. Skylar Flatton for 3. High arcing shot. No good. And it's an 18-point game again. And offensive foul. Well, excuse me. Now we got a whistle. Jeremiah Martin. Actually, that's not an offensive foul. That was a foul. First foul in the last 2 minutes. So they'll trigger it from side court for the last time after a foul. Both teams will be in the penalty. Kanan left to the court. Over to Vincent on the right. Vincent, aggressive dribble, sends it away, and then into a crowd where the Skyforce have it. Marquill Smith galloping the other way and throws it away. Vincent the other way, Euro steps, and then finishes. The lead expands to 20. Again, it was a 12-point game. 86-74. And in fact, that was an 11-0 run for the Skyforce, but the Stockton Kings have now subdued the Peasants for the time being. Shot in the lane, no good. And back the other direction with the Kings. Vincent, one-legged, step back. Oh my. There's Vincent, who has found the stroke. And just like that, the other direction, 10 straight, going for the Kings. Martin takes it in the lane, gets it up against Pinheiro, scores with contact. Pinheiro went straight up with it. And with 28 seconds left in the period, about 9 seconds separating the two timepieces. Kanan will take a little time as Ty Ellis and crew will now put it in motion with 6 to shoot. Kanan sent to the corner. Vincent steps back. It's a 3, and no. 8 seconds left in the period as Martin brings it front court, weaving his way. Martin gets to the rack and is denied. 0.2 of a second left. We'll see if they can. And they want Martin to send it in. No, it'll be Marquill Smith at the baseline. They'll lob it up, taps it, no, at the buzzer. And it's a score, 96-76. The Kings lead the Skyforce on Information 1000 KSOO in the NBA G League Network. Back to action as the Sioux Falls Skyforce and Stockton Kings. Kings with a 20-point lead as we begin quarter number 4, and the Kings have possession to begin this frame. Kyle Guy, his 3, no good. The long rebound pops back to Reynolds. it up to Martin. And Martin will start the set here. They'll ask for the pick. Martin will fade to the left. Reed, top of the key, three, no. And the rebound pops into backcourt. Jeremiah Martin grabs it 91 feet from the basket. And we'll head back the other way with 9 to shoot. Reed working to Morning, right baseline. And there it is. You can hear Jared Jack yell butter. 98-58. 98-78, excuse me. As Kanan gestures with the right hand, switches the dribble, now picks it up and gives to Vincent. Vincent into the lane, and Trey Morning says, Jared Jack returning for Sioux Falls. And Jeremiah Martin will retreat. 9 to shoot. Into the corner. Here comes Jeffries. Gives off to Vincent. Floats it up. Nice quick trigger for Vincent to make it 100-78. Vincent tonight with 14. There's Reed waiting. Half the shot clock is gone. 10 to shoot as Reed continues. Sends it away to Flatten. Flatten with 5. He'll pull up for a 3. Nope. Shooter's roll, not there. So it's Kings playing with a lead of 22. Bounce pass off the pick and roll. Reynolds wasn't looking for it. Acknowledges. So the Skyforce trailing. Not the largest deficit of the night. That was 24 earlier. That was in the third quarter. Jack chooses left to Morning. Towards the elbow for Reed. Then back to Jack. A 3. Good. Jared Jack. 2 of 2 from downtown for Mr. Jack. On the other end, here's a pull-up jumper. No for Gabe Vincent. Jack will jet the other way. Marquill Smith to Davon Reed, who will drive left baseline into a crowd, and there's a crowd that will produce a foul. And Jeffries will pick up his third. So Reed to the line. He is a perfect 2 of 2 on the night. Give him 16 points. And that's a 2-point toss, 17-point game. Kyle Guy steps into a 3. Not again. So Kyle Guy, not the guy. He is 1 of 8 from downtown. Jack Euro step in the lane. Easy motion off the glass, and it's 100-85 with 8:41 remaining. So the Skyforce have put together a 7-0 run. Cut the lead down. Again, not time to milk the clock yet for the Kings. They got to do this straight up. Kanan to Jeffries. Jeffries drives. He gets to the hole. He misses, but then put back up and in. They will give that rebound and put back to Jeffries. Gets his own. Jack into the lane. He goes on the reverse and one. Jared Jack now with 20. And they foul over the top by Reynolds. Got a Cedars during NBA Care Season of Giving. The NBA G League, its team and players are helping make a difference in the lives of those in need. Join the NBA G League and share how you are giving back by using hashtag NBA Cares. And you can learn more by visiting cares.nba.com. Kings at the free throw line. One toss. 104-88 the score. See if Jeffries can expand his point total on the night. Yes, sir. 105-88. Lead back to 15. Jeffries, that's 37. Martin gives off to Flatten. Flatten turns, fires for 3, short. The rebound to the Kings. And the Kings with Kanan. Reed will advance on him, send him all the way back to midcourt. Jeffries against Flatten. They'll send it back to Keenan. Half the shot clock is gone as the Kings will now put it in the lane. Keenan loses the handle. Martin. And there's the baseball pass to Reed. Knocked loose and then into backcourt. And then the Kings snare it. Here comes Vincent. Gives out to Jeffries, who scores. Jeffries has 39. Martin holding for the Skyforce. Martin dumping off to Morning, who will drop it in. 107-90. 17-point lead. And again, the Kings, they have had the better of it tonight. They have led the entire way. Keenan working on the left side. And they're trying to post up with Jeffries. Instead, they'll swing it around the perimeter to Kyle Guy with 2 to shoot. Guy will get into the lane, does not release the shot. That is a 24-second violation. Had the entry, had the open lane, but ran out of time. That is turnover number 12 on the Kings. The Skyforce have committed 18 miscues tonight, and that has led to 27 points yielded. Martin, pick and roll. Davon Reed, Skylar Flatten. Oh, the ball poked away by Vincent. Vincent will drive, give it off to Keenan, who will score. 109-90. Martin, front court. Flatten pulps the three. In and out. That one had the direction, not quite there on the distance. 5.5 to go. Keenan sends to Guy over on the right. Guy will drive and then he'll pick up. He will fire from 20. No. And then the rebound pulled down by Jeffries, who has been everything. Got 41 points, 7 rebounds, plus an assist. Daquan Jeffries with 6 of 12 from downtown, 14 of 23 overall. He has been the volume guy, volume player for the Kings. Kyle Guy has shot 14 times and only connected 3 times tonight. Demps is back on for the Kings. And the Skyforce get a steal. Marquill Smith drives on Pinheiro, gets in the lane, no. And the rebound to Demps. And the Kings will bring it this way. Here comes Vincent, pulls up for 3, in and out. Davon Reed with the board. That is number 8 on the night for Reed from the rebound category. Martin kicks to Morning, Morning for 3. That one in and out. The Skyforce are 6 of 23 from downtown. And with 4:47 left, the Kings hold a 109-90 lead on Information 1000 KSOO and the NBA G League Network. Head to the Iowa Wolves. Play at Wells Fargo Arena tomorrow night. The next home game for the Skyforce, that will be against the Texas Legends. That's on Tuesday. The Miami Heat fall tonight to the Los Angeles Lakers 113-110. And that one being played in South Beach tonight. And we've got a collision, and Jeremiah Martin will be whistled for the foul. 4:37 left in the period. No penalty yet. Third team foul on the Skyforce is Vincent looking and does get it into the safety valve. Vincent gets it back on the right wing. He'll test the paint, float it up and score. Nice little flip in the lane. 111-90. The Skyforce did cut it to 12 here in the second half, but have gotten no closer. Marquill Smith in the lane, adjusts, scores, and he'll get one more. And Marquill Smith now gets into double figures for the Skyforce. He's got 10. 23 for Jared Jack to lead the way. 16 for Davon Reed, and 12 for Martin, and 12 for Lee. I got a timeout on the court as the Kings lead at 111-92. We'll maintain our presence here as Marquill Smith prepares to head to the free throw line, and they're going to review here. So they are going to review. The call is a defensive foul. So we shall see if the basket will count or not. So the crew chief, Simone Jelks, will monitor, and Julian Scott will be at her side. And again, after the Skyforce play at Iowa, they'll have a couple of games at home. They'll also have a couple of games at the NBA G League Showcase on December 19th through the 22nd. So that is the Las Vegas Showcase, where all the teams gather. And that is actually this year a different format. They will seed the teams based on record, and the winner of the NBA G League tournament, also known as the Showcase, they'll get some coin out of the deal. They'll split it amongst all the players. So that is extra incentive and a different way of keeping things interesting. The players will all get a chance to showcase their talents at the G League Showcase, but also there will be the opportunity to earn a little bit of coin along with it too. So the officials will talk over to see if the call of a defensive foul against the Stockton Kings will stand. Again, they have a certain amount of time to be able to do that. They put, I believe, 90 seconds or 2 minutes on the clock, and that's how much the officials get to be able to monitor the play and determine what the ruling will be. So the call is sustained. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Menza. So he confirms the call that the foul is on Reynolds, who gets his 5th personal foul. The basket is good, and there will be one toss for 1 point for Marquill Smith. So Smith will get credit for the basket. So 111-92 currently. And Smith on the free throw is good. Smith now at 8 of 11 from the free throw line this season to make it 111-93. Kanan sends it over to the left corner for Vincent. Again, they'll work it down to 7 on the shot clock. Kanan with 6, still with it, takes it in, scores it. 113-93, back to a 20-point game. Marcus Lee will give it up to Martin. With 3:35 and ticking in this contest. Martin gives off to Smith. Marquill with 5. Marquill will take it inside and then put it up, and he'll go to the line for one more toss. This one will be worth 2 points. I know Cody Demps was in the area. Yep, they will list it on Cody Demps. He will pick up his 4th. So Marquill will go back to the line. Currently with 11 points. 4 of 7 shooting tonight. 2 of 4 from downtown, and has converted his only free throw. Cut it back to 18. Yes. Still the Kings with plenty of gas to work with in this tank. Time ticking away, and an 18-point lead. Daquan Jeffries has returned. He is called for steps. DeQuan Jeffries, the one thing that is his first turnover of the night. So if you want to look at a fly in the ointment, you could there, but why? He's got 41. The dude's getting his props tonight. Skylar Flatton controlling, gives off to Martin. Martin straight line drive, and then the dish, gets it back, then the ball knocked free, and there is Jeffries. Picks it clean. It's 2 steals tonight. But he throws it away. Tried to lead Reynolds a little too far. Turnover number 15 for the Kings, but that's right about their average. They are usually about 17 per game. Martin waiting for the screen. He'll give to Smith. Smith on the drive. Again with contact, score and get one more from Marquill Smith. This Marquill Smith. Another opportunity at the line for the West Georgia Wolf. But he did play 2 years with the University of San Francisco and was a Division II All-America while at West Georgia. The Gulf South Player of the Year. A local tryout player, and tonight with 16 here at the Sanford Pentagon to make it 113-98. Graves to Jeffries. Jeffries again. Oh, that looks good. No, just a little bit off. I could see it from my angle. Kyle Guy, he's going to try again. You can't keep him down. Nope, at least for that one. And there's Marquill Smith with the rebound. And the ball tipped free by Reynolds, who says, oh, I'm taking this one. 115-98. Martin off the pick and roll. Send it over to Smith. Smith, and he'll loop it over to Morning. Morning ball fake, winds up, hooks it, no. 1:45 remaining. As Graves gives off to Jeffries. Jeffries driving, dotted line, hanging, off the window. Haven't seen that one tonight. Might as well add that one to the toolbox for DeQuan Jeffries, who's got 43. Martin, pick and roll. Martin will step back. Here's 3. No. And pulled down by Reynolds. Deep in the corner. And Kyle Guy brings it front court. They want to get Jeffries some more work here. Pick and roll. Jeffries against Marcus Lee. He'll step back on him. 20. No. From 20 feet and a sideline, actually baseline violation for Marquill Smith. Grabbed the rebound, but was out of bounds. 117-98. With 1:03 remaining. And you know where it's going. Jeffries. What do you think? From 27, will he? Yes. Will he get it? No. And then the rebound pulled down by the Kings, and they'll send it back. Vincent, free throw line. He'll step back, fade away from 16, no. Rebound Marquill Smith. 45 seconds left. Marquill Smith for 3, short. 39 seconds left to go. As the Stockton Kings will earn their 8th win of the season against 5 losses. Skyforce will drop to 5-9 on this campaign. Jeffries, he's going to take it, draw contact. He'll go to the line and try to hit 2 free throws here. This is the alteration. And Jeffries has to shoot 2 here as the normal rules apply in the final 2 minutes of the contest. And Jeffries wearing the Tom and Jerry shoes tonight. Very nice. That one hit the top of the backboard and then off. So I can see it plain as day from here. You got Tom right on the heel, and you got Jerry right on the instep, or rather the outstep. So Jeffries will finish with 44. Hitting that free throw. And Jeremiah Martin with 18 seconds left. Steps back, triggers 3. No. And there is the rebound for Jeffries, and that'll do it. across midcourt for the Kings, and the Stockton Kings will hang another 20-point loss on the Sioux Falls Skyforce by the score of 118-98. As you hear the third note on the scale, the game is over.